out at the Martin family's home today, checking out an earlier restoration that we did, a 1968 International pickup. This used to be the truck that they used to use running around their gravel pit. And when we got it, she was pretty rough. Everything was gone on it. The firewall was gone, floorboards were all gone. The doors were basically rotted about halfway up. There was huge problems. The fenders were all rotted at the bottom, the top, like there wasn't pretty much very much left of it. We were able to salvage the main lines of it, which allowed us to shape a lot of the panels. A lot of stuff we had to make up. You know, we lasered these out, the old markers for the model number. We were able to make a lot of stuff and refurbish it. The grill, we had to come up with a different pattern for the marker lights. There's just not a lot of parts around for this truck. These trucks were very, very plain originally from the factory. They weren't quite this nice. All the floorboards were done. The transmission tunnel was done. We carried the green and the brown into the inside. We were able to find some old gauges out of Pennsylvania that we refurbished, and we were able to make those work, which was great because it was, like I said, a lot of trouble finding parts for this thing. We ended up doing a nice distressed leather look on the seat. When you got them from the factory, they'd have one sun visor in them, so we were able to find another one, and just little things. And then what we did was Bud Martin used to always put his wife's name on the trucks, whether it was on the front or on the side somewhere. So we put Nina's name just on the glove box door, which she loved. One of the hardest things that we had to do in the back here was this floor was completely gone. So we had to make this pattern, ribbed floor. So we were able to make the floor. We made we used some original bracketry, but again, just no lights available. So we were able to adapt and make this work. We had to put the cover over the chain just to protect the sides of the box. We actually had to rebuild part of this tailgate as well. Luckily we were able to keep the original stamping. Here on this rear fender, it was completely gone at the top, and this was actually missing. And this is your extra carrier notch for your spare tire. So we were able to form and roll all that. So a ton of work went into it. And the family seems very happy with it, and we're happy with how it came out as well.
In 1968, my husband and his brother went down to the International factory and picked up this truck and drove it home. So it's been in the family since 1968. My father-in-law was Bud, and he had a construction company, gravel pit up in Innisfil. And my husband was in the process of restoring it, and then unfortunately I lost my husband. He died in an accident. So we had this piece of junk, which is what it was, and I didn't know what to do with it.
The first memory I have of this truck is actually sitting in my dad's lap, driving home from work one day. I mean, it was always around, and it was always in the gravel pit, and it was always, you know, at work. But the first distinct memory that I have is being, you know, just a little guy sitting in my dad's lap.
My son, who learned how to drive on this truck, who spent a lot of time in the gravel pit that we owned driving that truck around, he said, "Mom, we got to fix up the truck." Dad never started a project and didn't finish, and that was true. He never started a project and didn't finish it.
I was really the guy that was like, "Mom, we need to get this done. We need to finish this." I felt it was really important. When I was just sitting in the garage there in a million pieces, it didn't feel right to me to just, you know, I don't even know what we would have done with it.
You know, there was pieces everywhere. The wiring harness was in the basement. The windshield was down in the basement. We found was it the steering wheel or was it the sun visor after we moved, and we were just cleaning out everything, looked up way up in a closet, and there was the sun visor. So
yeah, there was pieces all out throughout the house and in the shop and different sides of the shop, and we came up with a flatbed and another truck and picked up all these boxes and sort of sorted through it. But there's a lot of this stuff that's just not available for this truck.
I couldn't bear to think that it would just go to the scrapyard, you know. It just held too much. It just had too much of an emotional connection to the truck to let that happen. So.
My name is Rob Spear. I was friends with Dan. I met him actually in kindergarten, went all through public school and high school with him. To see it today, now that he's gone, is incredible. It brings back so many memories. Although Dan didn't finish this project that he started, Nina did, there could be, in my mind, no finer memorial to his hard work, dedication, and his life than seeing this truck as we see it now, looking better than I even see it in my memories.
What did you bring it in for?
Oh, just to have the paint looked at, and Gary's going to do an oil change.
Little line in the mark in the paint down at the bottom we're going to fix up for.
When my daughter got married, the truck was still on the property where we lived, and the photographer came to do the wedding pictures. She said, "Oh, we've got to get that truck in the wedding pictures." So she took some pictures of my daughter and her husband in the truck, and that was the only picture we had at that point that showed the white on the side, because by the time Gary got it,
It was gone.
It was
pretty
gone.
much faded. You just see a little bit of outline.
All the pictures that he sent me of the progress up in the front of the truck, there was this picture taped of my daughter and her husband in the truck, using it as a reference.
And right now the truck looks better than what he would have done. I mean, the truck it's immaculate. Everything about it is done exceptionally well. So I think he'd be really happy that it was still, still in the family. I mean, it wasn't licensed for the longest time. So I'm sure he would have loved to see it driving around town, out on the roads, because it didn't do that for years, and probably decades, where it wasn't out on the road. So, yeah, I think he'd be really happy to know that we're in the truck and we're the ones driving it around and getting it out there for people to see. I'll do whatever we have to do to keep it in the family. I mean, that's what I'm gonna have to do. When my mom was looking at new houses, I made a point to say, listen, we need a 2-car garage. We need a spot to put the truck, and if it wasn't going to be a 2-car garage, then we were going to have to rent a spot or do whatever we have to do. So yeah, it's going to stay with us. And my son, he's 2.5, and he loves trucks. Like, trucks are his most favorite thing in the world. So I'm sure he's going to be just as obsessed with this truck as I am. So that's the plan. The truck definitely helps me remember my dad. It's not the only way. It's just a really nice memento. I mean, the truck's in the shape it is now because he took care of it for the first 40 years of its life. So I don't know. To me, it's just a really good representation of his work ethic and the quality of work that he was committed to doing. But I mean, there's a million ways that I can remember him. But this obviously, it's nice to drive around.